So, I'm currently recording this on my laptop. I know it has shitty quality. That's kind of the look I'm going for. Okay. Also, my phone's running out of storage, so that's another reason why. But also, I've gotten some people asking why I haven't been uploading, consistently like I was before. And I'll say the main reason why is because since I work out at a public gym now, dude, I just don't want to be that guy that's constantly recording things. And it's just such a pain in the ass, bro. And then, like, I'd rather just record a decent amount of footage and post a video every 1 to 2 months, but it's a decent quality video. And also, I'm thinking about maybe I have two consoles and I'm thinking about selling those two so I can afford me a camera. But even if I do have a camera, I'm not gonna post. Still not gonna post until like a month or two, because I just like getting in there and getting that shit done, bro. Like, but yeah. So this is kind of the only newest video that'll be on my channel. Okay. I don't feel like setting up another fucking email and another account, just for some other channel. So I'll just put this on the channel that I have right now. Hopefully, I will get out another gym, video. But hey, man, I've progressed a lot, dude, since the last one. I've gotten way stronger. So, anyways, man, something I want to be going over today in this video that I've been kind of wanting to make for a couple days now is why I wouldn't say everything is about looks, but I think it has something to do with that. Once when you've made a little bit of progress, once when you've went from being made fun of all the time and still being made fun of, but having people having a little bit more respect for you, and that can feel unreal. I still don't get why people glaze my physique and all of this, but I appreciate it. I'm not gonna, just say no to a compliment because, I've never got that shit. And for me, I'm gonna use an example, something that's happened in my life that had absolutely everything to do with looks. Okay. When I was 13, right, I had surgery on my kidneys. And that basically what happened. I'm not going to say everything that happened because it was pretty bad. I'm not going to say everything. But, it was bad. And they put me in this radiation room. And I just don't even want to say the shit that happened, bro. It was so bad. Wouldn't wish what happened to me, man, for my worst enemy, dude. I would not wish that shit on them, bro. It was bad. Let's just say every time I was pissing, it felt like I was pissing acid. Okay. Once when I got back from surgery after them fucking putting a million needles in me and just sucking the life out of me, man, through all this IVs and shit, dude, I just felt like, I felt like a fucking zombie, dude. I did not feel real. I lost hella weight, too. I was already skinny as it was, and I lost even more weight. And, I was out of school, and this happened at the beginning of 8th grade, and I was only in my classes for a couple of days, and like I said, I had the surgery and everything I explained to you, and that radiation thing kind of happened like months before that, but then it kind of led up to, all right, we're gonna follow through the surgery thing, and then I was out of school for about a week, which makes sense because they had surgery on my kidneys and they put air into the side of my stomach so they could have room to work on my kidneys. I came back and, I was pissing blood. It was bad. And you would think, right, me being a new student, never using this curriculum, I've always used Google Classroom. I've never really used, Canvas, if you're aware of Canvas. And if you use that stuff, I just was new and I didn't really understand how it worked. So, what do? I ask for help. And sure, I think it was kind of like I've always been, scared and nervous to, get up because everyone's gonna fucking look at you, man, and just ask for help. You know, it's scary, especially when you don't look good, bro. Okay, but I remember when I got back, right? The teacher was saying how, keep in mind I'm a little bit even more skinnier and I just look goofy as fuck, dude. And if I have a picture, I'll try to pull up in this video, man. Kind of what I looked like around this time. Okay. I might not. I might. Mainly because, I don't really want other people seeing this video that I know. They do, then, hey, man, it's whatever, right? But I came back and, this teacher was talking about how it doesn't matter if you had surgery or something like that. You need to be on top of your schoolwork. And, fast forward, a couple of minutes later or something like that, or like a day later, I don't know, maybe even the same day. I remember this girl that was on the cheerleading team, or maybe it was a guy that was on a wrestling team. The point is, man, is the dude looked better than me, arguably, no questions, right? Looked way better than me, and was in the sports team. I remember he said, "Oh, because of sports or some bullshit like that, that I didn't get my schoolwork done." I'm the one that was pissing blood, right? Had surgery on my fucking kidneys, and because I know I looked like a goofball and I looked goofy as fuck, super skinny, just not real, I do feel like a lot of teachers didn't treat me that well, bro. It wasn't just one, it was multiple teachers, people, and like, and I don't know if I'm gonna like, I'm not gonna put that really into this video, but I'm gonna make another video on why, like, being made fun of and stuff can, benefit yourself and actually maybe even help you become even better through being made fun of. Once when I started making more progress in the gym, even though it wasn't a lot, I noticed that surprisingly, hey bro, I'm not making this shit up. I don't get it. I don't understand, but I actually did get more attention from girls. And honestly, I don't even think it was for my physique. I think it was just because, I was like 5'10" in, my freshman year of high school, which most kids weren't that tall. Of course, there's plenty of kids. Hey, I'm not saying I'm that tall, but I'm saying, there wasn't a lot of kids that were that tall and taller. There was. It wasn't impossible. But, I think I was like I still am one of those people that, like, the girls may like and get confused because I'm taller than them, maybe by a lot. So they might get that mixed up and think I look, how, like, you ever heard that thing where, like, girls will, like, fuck, how do I explain it? Like, they'll like another taller, they're literally like another dude. He could be hideous, but it's because he's taller. That's why. Like, I feel like I'm that guy. Okay, even though I'm like right here. This is how close I am to being 6 foot, bro. Like, dead ass. Okay, I'm not incredibly tall, but I do believe I'm still growing. Holy shit. But yeah, just basically what I was saying, man. Me having surgery doesn't fucking matter because I look like shit, and the kid that looked better than me didn't do his schoolwork, but he can get away with it. You know why? Because probably looked better than me. And that's why, like I said, it fired me up, and I was just tired of being like this. And now I am very still insecure about myself. But now I understand what's required to be able to make progress. And the only thing from here on is just the matter of time. Right? If I'm doing everything else right, eventually it should get better, my physique at least, But, once when I made a little bit of improvement, man, even if it was just a little bit, somehow I got more friends and I was treated a little bit better because I improved myself. It's funny how that works. So why am I putting this video out here? Well, this is only going on YouTube because I feel like maybe there's some people that might not see this side of content on YouTube, and they might not see that. They might have TikTok and Instagram, but they don't see that, like, black pill shit or And I think a lot of it is kind of corny, but I think it's honestly like, this is gonna be very like, controversial when I say this. Like, I'm not saying I support everything this man does, but he comes from a very relatable background, man. Okay, you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Clavicular. I know, I know, man. I know it sounds wild, but if you really look into his childhood, man, you can't really blame him for doing what he did. Now, I think him like saying the N word and all this extra stuff, like what he did, like, yeah, I think that's too far, man. But like starting off and just, you know, he comes from like a very, it's just, I don't blame him for like enhancing himself, man. You know, it makes sense. But I don't know. I don't agree with anything else he really does. But that's one thing I can see. It makes sense. And yeah, dude, I'm just trying to say, you know, trying to get this out here. If you, this is mainly also targeted towards people who, like I said, don't really see this side of content. Like, how maybe, I don't know if it's fully got out to a lot of people yet. The whole idea of, looks are about almost everything. Like, even though he has personality, gets you very far, but it can only give you so far. You can look, really good to most people and have a somewhat nerdy or awkward personality, and people are still gonna like you, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, if you don't kind of see this kind of content, this brutal but honest truth, this kind of content, when it comes to improving yourself and stuff like that, and how magically people start treating you a little bit better, just want you to kind of understand that, kind of explain it from my experiences. And, I don't think I'm done anytime soon. So, that's all I have to really say, man. But, I've explained my experiences and, how I just made a little small improvement, and somehow I had a little bit more friends because of those improvements. So, yeah, man, it absolutely has a lot to do with looks. And yeah, I still have a lot of work to do. I am not attractive. I'm not good looking whatsoever. I don't claim to be. If you ever hear that from anyone, that's because it's from anyone else but me. I don't go around saying I'm all that. No, you're only going to hear that from other people, man. I don't glaze myself, really. So, anyways, I'm going to make some more videos like this. But, it's my kind of first. Well, actually, I made kind of like a little inspirational kind of video like this, but it was on my iPhone. But I feel like I want to make more videos like this, but I don't want to just cram it all into one, because I know, no one really wants to sit down and watch a 30-minute YouTube video anyway. So if you stick around so far, and let's fucking go, dude. That's because I wouldn't, man. If I seen this video, I wouldn't stay this long. I'd fucking click off, I don't blame you. But anyways, if you want to see more videos like this, I will try to get out, some more gym content. Just been grinding, man, and being consistent. I hopefully you guys will. And even if I do have to get out another video and it's like incredibly short, it's just going to be showing a couple of like just the clips of like the exercises I did before and the weight I'm doing. So yeah, it's kind of all I had to really say. Sure, I didn't really, put a lot of points out there. I'm not as wise. I'm only 17, but these kind of videos you're watching right now. I see these videos all the time, and I just wanted to make more myself, and I might make some more. So, anyways, if you like this video, you don't have to like it, but anyways, that's all I have to say. But just think about that. It absolutely does make a difference. Even if you make some small changes, you'll notice people treat you just a little bit better. And I still know that people don't fuck with me just because of the way I was in middle school, man. People, I know, I can sense it. Okay, I'm not retarded, but I still know that they're like, oh, this guy goes to the gym. And so, anyways, guys, that's all I really want to say. And if you want some more videos like this, then let me know. All right.